Oh my gosh. Ali Garced, one of my favorite humans of all time in the universe ever, is on today. She's a Rockstars pro. So she was on the show over a year and a half ago. And then before I started hosting. And then she was one of the speakers at our Real Estate Rockstars Mastermind this past March. And she and I host our other podcast together, which is The Agent Goldmine. So if you haven't checked it out, you should definitely check that out. But guys, for today, I invited Ali on here because she and I are going through like a pretty similar journey. We're both starting over brand new in a new market where we know no one. So a little bit of background on Ali. So she was in the Air Force and was stationed in Tucson, Arizona. So didn't know anyone there, didn't have a sphere of influence, decided to get her real estate license. And her first year, while she was part-time, she was still active duty Air Force, part-time, she made $107,000 in GCI in her first 8 months being an agent. Insane. And then year two, she earned over $200,000 in GCI and hit Icon, if you know what that is, through the EXP world, while doing almost exclusively referrals. And now, year three, so literally tomorrow is her 3-year mark as an agent. And she just moved. She picked up and moved to St. Paul, Minnesota. She's not from there. She doesn't know anyone. So she's starting over again in a brand new market. Sounds similar? I'm doing the same thing. So I was like, okay, Ali, we're going to talk about two things. Part one first is, what did you do round one to generate leads to go from 0 to 107,000 in 8 months as an agent? And then after that, more importantly, the chunky part is we're going to talk about what you're doing now, starting over from scratch. Hi, Ali, welcome.
Yeah, so I was in Tucson for 3 years also. So I had some time there. I knew a little bit about the neighborhood, about Tucson market. But what I did to generate leads was I posted on social media a lot. It wasn't every day. I did that the following year. And I sent a ton of DMs, like one-on-one through social media because I was already super active on there, and in person. At the time, I was a special agent. I was working procurement fraud for the Air Force, where I was investigating companies that were defrauding the government, which, boy, do they. And so during those conversations of like, hey, let's talk about XYZ company, I'm like, by the way, I'm a real estate agent.
Also, do you need to buy a house?
Like, so shameless, but like it worked, I made 107 my first 8 months. And then I ended up with like 131 because I just took my foot off the gas after I realized that I could be a full-time real estate agent. I then just focused all my time on separating from the military because that's a full-time job, is to separate from the military. So yeah, that's what I did my first year.
Okay, gotcha. So you came out, you hit socials hard. You were absolutely shameless. You talked to every single person you knew through the military, through any opportunity outside of that. And then you just started posting, sharing your journey as you went in stories and in posts. And you also spent so much time every single day DMing people that you'd known for 1 year, 10 years, your whole life, and maybe hadn't talked to. And that's how you stirred up a ton of different conversations. Yes?
100%. Yes.
Okay, perfect. And then the other thing I want to know is that it's a different type of Instagram usage that you're using than other people that we've interviewed, which was, we've had other people come on here and being like, I 100% just do home tours, or I 100% just do local, hyper-local content or relocation or whatever, in targeting that specific audience. That's like their, lead generation plan. Whereas you took the brand, like sharing the journey type of style, is like you just shared what you were going through and then connected with people who already knew, liked, and trusted you, which in turn led to lots of inbound activity. Is that correct?
That's 100% right. Yeah. I really didn't want to focus on just home tours or just a specific, like just buyers or just sellers, because nobody gives a shit about the homes in Tucson. Because my audience were people that I had met all over the world. I'd spent 10 years in the military, and I've been stationed all over the world. So it's like, why people don't give a fuck about Tucson. Oops, sorry, I'm cursing a lot. Okay, I'll try to tone it down.
Dude, it's okay when guests do it, just not me.
Okay,
you're fine.
Perfect. I'll tempt you. So instead of posting stuff about my specific market, I realized that majority of my audience wasn't PCSing to Tucson in or out. They were PCSing to Iowa. No, there's no Air Force Base in Iowa, but like Pensacola, Montana, the DC area. So instead, I was just putting myself as, hey, I am in real estate. And here are some tips of just like kind of generic tips for home buyers and home sellers. So in that way, whenever they had questions, they felt comfortable asking me to connect them to a real estate agent. So that's where I was like, whoa, outbound referrals is the way for me to go.
And you also did say that a lot, right? Like you did tell people like, hey, if you need someone nationwide, like I am your girl.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm very clear about it too. I'm like, and I also tell I also tell military members, I'm like, dude, you should get your real estate license because we get paid off referrals. Like I will be paid for connecting you to a good agent. So I want to make sure that that agent is good. Let me know if for some reason communication is shit. So I made it like super, super clear. I want everyone to know that like exactly how I'm paid. So therefore, it's kind of the twofold where they know that I'll be paid by connecting them to a good agent. And also they know that I will not be paid if they're asking for free advice and they've already been represented by somebody else.
Love it. Put it all out there. Okay. And just to get more granular, I understand that you're posting, you're sharing the journey, all of that stuff, and you're reaching out to people. But is there a certain number of, whether conversations or outreach or, because I know you're like a tracking, systems type of person. So what was your method to make sure you hit your quota every single day?
Yeah, I read the book Traction by Gino Wickman in the very beginning of my real estate agent career. And from that book, I took away 6 conversations that every organization, every team member of every organization should have a number. They should know the number and they should accomplish a number every single day. So my number was 6. And I got this number specifically because I heard it also on a podcast. And I don't know if this is true or not, but in my mind, I didn't care if it was true or not. I wanted to do it. So in my mind, it's a truth. And so I heard that if you have 6 conversations a day about real estate, that you will on average, or agents that do that on average, make $308,000 every single year. I was like, say less, 6 is my number. And it's still been my number. So sometimes I accomplish it, within the first 3 hours of waking up. Sometimes it's like 8 p.m. and I still haven't had 6 conversations about real estate. So I won't go to bed until I do. And if I do accomplish it early, I'm going to then double it or triple it because that's who I am.
Okay. And one last question. When you are doing this prospecting and you're reaching out to all these people, who follow you, who you may not have talked to, how does that work? It's like, hi, I'm Allie. I just got my real estate license. I don't know if you remember me. We were in 5th grade together. Or like, what does that look like?
Kind of similar to that, actually. Okay, so what I do is Facebook Memories is clutch. Snapchat Memories is clutch. Anytime you see somebody's birthday on Facebook, that's like a good way to start the conversation. Knowing, though, that everyone else is also bombarding them on the happy birthday. So Facebook has that option for you to see whose birthday is coming up, because I think I like being told happy birthday the day before, like, oh shit, you're early and I like it, because everyone else, you're just going to be noise on the day of their birthday, especially if you just post on their birthday saying happy birthday, Shelby. But instead, if I take like an old ass video of something embarrassing or anything, really an old video to increase engagement, then that's what I do. Or if I don't have any past videos or anything of like any memories, like my own mental memories that I can remember, then I will send a video text. I really, really just try to avoid doing regular text. People don't like reading, number one. And people like seeing that other people are saying their name. It's a personalized message.
Okay, gotcha. So for all of this, it sounds like the devil's in the details, because it sounds so easy. It's like, oh, just post on social media. And then I closed 107,000 in my first 8 months. And like, what? Like, but really it is the amount of energy, not just putting yourself out there and sharing your story, but also the active pursuit of conversations every single day and not going to sleep until you've had 6 of those conversations out of potentially 100 that are related to real estate. Okay. I feel like this is kind of the end of part 1. I know that there was a lot of other stuff in there. Like you've mentioned open houses. Like I think you dabbled in YouTube over time, but we're going to fast forward. We are fast forwarding to what you are doing now. You just moved to St. Paul, Minnesota, and you know no one. What are you doing?
Now I am hitting YouTube even harder because I don't have that in-person presence, right? Like I don't have a job to go to where I can tell people that are already in the area that I can help them list their home. And nor do I want to. I don't really like doing in-person activities. So I'm more of an indoor cat. So I can make videos all day long. So I'm focusing on long form, horizontal videos on YouTube. I am focused now on taking my social media, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, more to a higher level. So I'm focused more on, instead of throwing spaghetti at the wall, which worked 2021, 2022, now I'm focused on it being a little bit more eye catching, because it's all about like the first 2 seconds of a video. And I say this over and over again on my channel, where I try to give real estate agents advice. The first thing that I see so many people mess up on is they start the video saying, "Hey guys, it's Allie Garced. I'm a real estate agent in St. Paul, Minnesota. And I just wanted to pop on here and say," like, that is so boring. Nobody gives a shit who you are or where you are or what you're about to say. Obviously, you just want to pop on here and say something because this is what you're doing. So just get to it. So the big difference between like short form, vertical videos versus horizontal is horizontal. You can get into it. Don't say your name at the beginning, say it in the middle or at the end, but you can say all that. You can talk as much as you want in horizontal, but just not on short form. So, it's always just like starting with the bottom line up front. So I'm just being a little bit more purposeful on every second of my videos matter, because that's a second of someone else's attention. And the more people, we're in the attention economy. The more people that I can have their attention, the more money, period.
Okay. And with this, are you focusing more on your long form content or more on your short form, form? Or is it like equal allocations? Where are you spending your energy?
I would say it's 60-40, 60%, a little bit heavier toward the long form. It's been paying off. I like it, and I can get more detailed. So the short form is great when you have like a super quick nugget, like stop having boring videos, like stop saying those boring, 3 sentences and then beginning. But long form, you can dive more into. I think long form establishes trust a lot more. Short form is for entertainment. It's eye catching. Oh, cool. Who's that person? Kind of entertaining. Taught me something really quick. Excellent. I'll follow. That's harder to turn into. That's harder to sell yourself. It's overall just entertainment versus education, which education is horizontal. So YouTube is where I'm focused on having people truly finish. It's like trusting me. So that way they can book a call. And that's what I'm doing now. Like I have YouTube videos out now for Tucson. I'm still selling homes in Tucson while I live across the country. And so we can talk about leverage if you want. Like I freaking love it. And people trust me. They're not going to book a call if they don't like me. So the only people that book calls are those that sign the buyer broker that same day, sign the listing agreement that same day that we go over there.
Okay. I would like to dig into, your long form focus for St. Paul, Minnesota. So I know you're still doing stuff in Arizona, and you have, I know you have agent channels. And guys, if you're not following Allie the Agent on Instagram and all of the places, you definitely should be. But for your St. Paul channel, what is the focus? How are you attacking that? Because you're starting over again. Like you said, you don't have this in-person, sphere that you did before. And I know you're super strategic about what you're doing. So what is the strategy heading into long form / YouTube?
I am testing out a listing only YouTube channel. By the way, in case you guys don't know, don't follow me on don't be a subscriber on YouTube. It will actually
the agent channel.
Yeah, the agent channel. Okay. Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, Allie. Well, you know what? Okay, follow me on Instagram, Allie the Agent. But you're actually doing anyone a disservice if you're following them or subscribing to them on YouTube because you weren't given their page organically. If you're specifically looking for something and you're not going to watch their entire content and then the next video of theirs, in length, then you're hurting their algorithm. So please don't do that unless you want to hurt me. Okay.
Yeah. Well, that's something I learned too, back when I dipped a toe in YouTube. I was doing it all wrong and didn't realize it. I was like, oh, I made this video. Let me share it on my Facebook page and to my Instagram followers and to my mom and be like, Mom, please, can you just watch this, please?
Yeah.
And that I've like, however many subscribers, but the problem was they were not the right audience for that platform. And I had no idea I was actually hurting myself by having all of these different people who were not my target audience subscribe to my channel. Because what it was doing is it was telling YouTube the videos weren't any good because they weren't engaged, because they weren't my target.
Exactly. No, 100%. And so many people don't realize that. So I am testing. So I have a couple of YouTube channels. The one in my first market, it was mainly home buyers. So therefore, now I'm testing home sellers, listings. I'm only my audience are sellers. My audience is sellers. What the fuck is English? It's hard. I'm talking. And like, honestly, this is how I am like in my YouTube videos too. Like I don't cut out like my mistakes because I want them to know that I am a person. I do have a personality. And if you don't like humor, then we're not going to be a good fit. And that's totally fine. So yeah, I'm testing sellers. And I have a whole list also of the videos that I am making and have already made. So if you want that, dude, text me, DM me. Actually, yeah, DM me the word video on Instagram, Allie the Agent, Allie spelled ALI, and I'll send you my entire list. So that way, instead of you watching my actual channel, I'll just give you the list of what I'm doing.
Yeah, I think it's really smart. So up until this point, of all of the people that I've interviewed or that you and I have interviewed on the Agent Goldmine, everything YouTube has been buyer specific. Like that has been the blueprint up to this point where it's like moving to Tampa, moving to wherever, and then like, neighborhood, which neighborhood should you buy in? For the most part, I know I'm generalizing, but it's really interesting and unique that you are taking the seller route. And I think that, everyone stay tuned. Obviously don't go to the channel, but stay tuned on her Instagram for updates. Is I think it's going to work because even just a couple of years ago, I don't think people were thinking as much about, okay, I want to sell my house. Let me go on YouTube and figure it out. Whereas a couple years later, this is 2024, I think more and more people are like in the first place in people's brains now more than ever is let me get on YouTube and figure this out. Or maybe it's on like, let me ask ChatGPT and then get an idea and then go to YouTube. But it's something like that. And so I think more than ever, I think that there's a blue ocean opportunity, which I don't even know if I should be saying this on the podcast. No, don't do it in St. Paul, Minnesota. Do it anywhere else. Or Lexington, Kentucky. You can literally do it anywhere else. But okay, so you have the list that you can provide people if you hit her up. What else in regard to getting your name out in St. Paul? Or is this your one focus for St. Paul?
Well, actually, so to add on to that, there are so many different personality types. So like you don't have to, I feel like a lot of people think I'm not outgoing or I'm not extroverted. I'm not like bubbly. So who am I to make a YouTube channel? Then be your boring personality and be on YouTube because there are people for you.
Dude, that's so true.
So do it. Like if you're in St. Paul, do it. Like I don't care. But yeah, a couple of videos just to like name a few that I'm that are hitting so far or are especially since I live in the fucking tundra now. Should I sell my home in the winter? Am I going to make more money if I sell my home in the summer? Selling your home in the fall? Like should I pay a buyer's agent as a seller? How much money do you keep when selling your home? That's just like, I don't know, just top 3-4 videos so far. And I have a whole list. So hit me up for that. I forget the rest of your question, Shelby.
No, I don't think I had one. I think we were just like blabbing. No, it's such a good point though. Different personalities. There's a personality out there for everyone. So yeah, you're right. Just do it. Yeah.
We can all win.
We can all win. Yes. Okay. What I was going to ask though. So you threw out a couple video titles. How long are your videos? Any general just tips? I know you said don't introduce yourself in the beginning, but just hit us with your favorite, I'm starting a new YouTube channel tips.
I actually have a YouTube video on how to start your YouTube channel.
Of course you do.
Like the SEO, how to optimize it. So if you have never done it, like DM me on Instagram. Okay. Text me the word video to 520-341-2552. Text me the word video or DM me the word video on Instagram, Allie the Agent, if you have it. Okay. Now I can answer your question. Okay. Don't introduce yourself. Whatever the title is, think of the title first. Don't start with the description. That's what I was doing in the beginning. That was wrong. So title first and put that into TubeBuddy, put that into, there are a lot of different subscriptions that you could pay for to make sure that you're doing something that's even going to be of value. So look up other creators too, maybe even in different markets to see what's working for them. Take a couple of different YouTube titles and then then think about what you want your thumbnail to be and then create the video. My videos are over 12 minutes long. I would say they average around 14. In my Tucson channel, which is more home buyers, they're 30 minutes, 25, 30 minutes. And I've gotten like pretty good success from that. But on the seller side, so far in my new market, it's a little bit shorter, but they always suggest 12-minute long videos, at least 12 minutes. But with that said, when the value ends, when you have nothing else to deliver it, stop the video as fast as you can. Like as little of an outro as possible because of the algorithm. So as long as people can watch to the very, very end, if you have like an outro, my opinion, if you have an outro video or the same saying where people have already heard you say that, they're not going to watch it to the end because they already know what's coming. So if they don't watch to the end, and then they don't watch the next video of yours, you're hurting yourself. So as soon as the video ends, end it. So that way you don't have that drop off. So going back to the very beginning of the video though, repeat verbally in the video, repeat what the title is. So that's why you need to know what the title is before you even record. And then say, if you have like a list, go backwards, always go backwards. Top 5 cities that are selling for the most, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, never 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What I do is 5, 4, 3, 2, and then I do my outro, my call to action, which is, by the way, if you want to sell your home in XYZ city, state, book a call using the link below. My team and I will be here to help you. And then to the number one fastest selling, blah, blah. And then you end the video. So by the way, 12 minutes goes freaking fast. So don't think that like you need to elongate the video because people want to learn, but they're not willing to wait too much. So, as much as you can, jam-packed information. That's why like so much effort needs to go into what the video is even going to cover.
How much like written scripting, do you like script it all out? Do you write it all out? Or are you just doing bullets and then you like pull it out of your ass? Like what's your flow?
In the beginning, I did script because I wanted to make sure that I said the right thing and I wasn't like $1 off and all these, it was very statistic oriented, which is good, but it wasn't me. So I don't want to put something out there. Like I don't want Jeffrey to see my listing videos of the exact numbers as I'm going over the market trends, because when I go to the listing appointment, they're going to expect me to know it. And okay, this sounds really bad. But I don't want people to think that I'm just a calculator. I'm a person. So like you're buying my personality, my experience, my marketing, not so much like every single data point that I have memorized in my head for every single week. There are those type of people, and that's perfect. That's the engineer type. And I typically don't have the engineer type as clients. So be mindful of that too. Like everything that you put out is what you're going to get back. That's why I don't put shit about my real estate investing. I do not work with investors. So just be mindful of that. Like if you're speaking in a certain language or using certain terms, that's going to resonate with the people that you're talking to. So you can choose your audience by your words.
Yeah, you and I have like gone so deep on that topic before about like, wow, life is just like this giant boomerang of like whatever you put out into the universe is what you attract back. And I think that's such a good point. In the beginning, it's hard, when you're just finding out how to be an agent and you're like testing a bunch of different, like, am I this analytical agent? Am I this? Like, who am I? I don't even know. But once you find it, your authentic fit, it's like, go hard. This kind of goes back to the idea of too, it's like, if you were for everyone, you're for no one. And if you do everything, you do nothing well. So if you know who you are, just be that person, because then the people who will self-screen themselves out if they don't like you, which is fine. And the ones who love you will just show up at your doorstep and you can hug them and it'll be lovely. Okay. So you don't script anymore. You do bullets though? Do you do bullets?
I do bullets. Yes, okay. I do bullets.
Okay. You do bullets, and then do you do like one take, or are you doing like one bullet, then like breathing, stopping, doing next, or are you just like word vomiting the whole thing?
If I can word vomit, I will word vomit. But I do make sure that because I have an editor, by the way, like I don't edit. Like if you're going to hit social media and YouTube hard, don't be your own editor is my takeaway. Don't waste your time doing your own paperwork. Don't like, just for the reasons that you hire a photographer, you should hire an editor. So, so yes, if I can word vomit and I'm comfortable with it, hell yeah. But what I typically do is I'll say a couple of sentences. I know like what I want to say in the next 2 sentences. I'll say it, I'll take a break, and I'll make sure that I have enough of a break between each sentence for my editor to chop it. And so that way it doesn't sound super quick like this and then, shit like that.
Are you doing your videos like where I see you now with your Allie the Agent in the background and all of your, what are those, military coins? What are those? What do you have back there?
They're called patches, Shelby. I don't know
wow.
if the Army does that.
I was in the Army. We did not have patches like that, I don't think. Dude, I'm going to get some messages from Army people being like, you are never in. This is shit.
You're a fraud.
I'm a fraud. Okay, gotcha. But is that what you do? Or what do you do for YouTube?
Yeah, for YouTube. And okay, I'm still in the middle of like unpacking too, even though I've been here for a couple of months now, dude. I have my light behind me for those that aren't watching this on YouTube. I have my Allie the Agent neon light. I have another color light just for a different color contrast. And I have military patches in the background to show a little bit of like, a little bit about me. Previously, I had a way better like studio, which was another bedroom of mine in my house. Nice.
Yeah.
So that's why I was
downgrade.
Huge. I'm in the corner of my bedroom right now. I'm in the corner of my bedroom. But I will sometimes do videos outside too. So just to change it up a little bit. But by outside, I don't mean like video tour. I mean like me sitting on a park bench somewhere, like comfortable in the shade. But that just shows like a little bit of, yes, she is in St. Paul.
Okay. And you do that with your like DJI, what are they? DJI?
Yeah.
Mics?
Yeah. And I got that recommendation from Sam Cottle. DJI content creator combo 3. I know it has a number 3.
Of course, Allie also has her podcast and social media set up, documented. So Allie and I are both systems freaks. And so if you want links to all of her lights and all the things, if you looked right now, you probably wouldn't want it because no, she's in a closet, but it used to look really good. So if you do want that, you could hit her up. Or actually, can I have that for the tool? I didn't ask you in advance for a tool for the tool.
No, people won't want it, right? Yeah, sure. I'd love to get that for the tool.
Used to look way better, I promise. Okay, cool. So that's the tool, guys. realestaterockstarsnetwork.com. Go to the toolbox and we'll make sure that's uploaded. Okay, so you do some of them outside sitting on a park bench. My other question is, are you like taking one video and having multiple different locations? Or if you film the park bench video, are you on the park bench the whole time? Or what? Are you doing B-roll integrated? What are you doing with that?
Always B-roll. Oh my gosh. Yes, always B-roll. And you don't even have to collect your own B-roll. Like if you're using a professional editor, they have their own bank of B-roll, but they can go look for it. Even if it's not the same city, you can have, I tell my editor all the time too, while I'm recording the video, I tell him, Ralph, at this point, can you insert some B-roll of like super heavy, busy highway traffic? And now can you add some B-roll of this? So I'm verbally telling my editor what I want to happen when I think of it. So I sometimes am changing the location of the video, but usually my style of video is more talking head. So it doesn't really matter where I am because I'm not showing, hey, behind me is a beautiful 123 Main Street house. But I'm changing it just so people can like get a little bit of a sense. Since I'm targeting sellers, they already know what St. Paul looks like. So therefore they're like, oh yeah, this is where she is. Like, something else to slightly think about in case my words bore them, which I try not to do. That's the whole point of like sound effects and maybe a little bit of music. But the video in the background, like who's that creepy person looking at her, stuff like that.
I'm entertained when you talk. Hopefully the sellers are too. Okay. Which that's something that I do way too much. I'm okay. Leverage. You mentioned leverage a couple times. I know you have multiple YouTube channels. Talk a little bit about, because right now we have the video, which real quick, what are you using to record? What video? Is it your phone? Do you have a camera?
I use that DJI content combo 3 to record.
That's a camera?
That's a camera. Yes. A camera and a mic combo. That's hence the combo. So then, and I switched to that. She gave me the middle finger for those not watching. So I switched to that because I was recording on my phone, which I actually think my phone has better quality. But it was taking forever to upload to my Google Drive. So a little bit of like the systems here is like, I have a Google Drive, and that is what VidChops, which is my leverage. They're my editors. Vid like video, chops like karate chop. VidChops.com. I do have an affiliate link for it. So if in case you want your first month free, hit me up. I use VidChops. They have unlimited revisions, and they are a little bit on the slow side. By slow, I mean like 4-day turnaround time. So that's my leverage. But because it was taking so long for it to upload from my phone to the Google Drive, I mean, so long. That's why I switched to more of an SD, like the micro SD card, which the DJI has. So once I upload it, and I've already given them full, like verbal instructions of kind of what to do, they take that. And then again, unlimited revisions. Actually, this doesn't sound right. Can you just skip this dead part? Can you zoom in here? Can you zoom in here? All this extra stuff to keep people entertained. Sound effects every like 4 or 5 seconds. So that's like my editing leverage. And then once the video is done, I actually pay for their YouTube helper package. So they upload it to my YouTube channel. I've already told them the title, tags, description. They do all of that. They give me 2 thumbnails because I'm not a Canva type person. I don't care to learn. I'm not cutesy like that. So I'm just like, hey, make something that will, with these colors, with my face looking upset, with my face looking sad. They have the whole folder of all of my different faces. So they take a couple of faces, and that I have 2 thumbnails. So that way I can immediately split test, which thumbnail works better. And YouTube now changed it to where it will automatically take the highest percentage. So it'll fix it for you. Other leverage that I have is I do have a TC. So of course, duh. So even though I haven't yet, I just got licensed in Minnesota, just got licensed a couple of days ago. So I have a TC. I'm still selling homes in Tucson, and I'm still the primary negotiator, and no one else knows that I'm not even in Tucson anymore. So I have a TC. I also pay the agents on my crew to show homes, $50 a home, $150 per inspection. And what other leverage do I have? I also have a more of a personal assistant, also a virtual assistant, even though she's in the States. She helps me with everything else. But mainly super hard on the database. So my CRM, I use KV Core because I'm with EXP and it's free. So she helps me upload people. Any single time I get a business card, I'm just like, hey, add this hashtag realtor or hashtag, Tucson, hashtag whatever. She puts the notes, she puts the upcoming tasks. And before I continue, did I answer your question?
Well, I wanted to go back to YouTube for a second. So, but if you have more on leverage, you should keep leveraging.
I think so. So then my leverage here going forward, in this city, as I work with listings, is I'm going to be talking to the sellers over Zoom, and I'm going to be getting the listing contract signed over Zoom. So that way, when we go over to their property, then at that point, all we have to do is just tweak the final number, tweak any updates that need to be done to the property, and other in-person stuff. So,
okay, that's super interesting. Screw my YouTube question. How are you? So, okay, the flow would be from YouTube. We just talked about what you're doing to generate interest of the seller leads. They're going to spend at least 7 hours with your face. This is a Chris Doe feedback. He said 7 hours with your face, 4 different channels. Well, actually for this is probably just one channel. And then 11 touches takes you from a stranger to a friend. So anyway, they're watching your face for 7 hours. And then at that point, they're like, I'm obsessed with this girl. She's just my kind of person. Her call to action said to book via the Calendly link, call, whatever. And then from there, what is your plan for listings?
So it's pretty similar to what I do on the buy side. So on the buy side, they see my videos. I don't have them call me, text me, definitely not email me. And I say the only thing is, if you want to get on my calendar, book a call using the link below. So I'm doing that for the same thing for the seller side in St. Paul, to get on my calendar in case you're thinking about selling your home, whether you want to sell it now or next year, book a call using the link below. In that call, that's again over Zoom. And if in case you don't use Calendly, do it. Yeah. So we meet over Zoom, and I'm doing the same thing that we do with buyers. On the buy side, we get the buyer broker signed over the Zoom call. They've already seen my videos. There's no pitch. They already know me. You know, they're like, oh my God, I can't believe like we're talking and I chose you because XYZ. They're like, so why not the same thing with sellers? So with sellers, listing agreement, which I am verbally saying in my videos. I'm telling them what to expect. I never want a gotcha. You know, like I don't even want people to book a call on my Zoom call if they feel like I've tricked them somehow. So everything, set the expectations as much as possible. So in my videos, I'm telling them what's going to happen when they book a call. So again, like the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 list in between the 2 and the 1, I'm having that call to action. Book a call using the link below. During that call, you're going to meet with me and or my teammate, and we're going to go over the process. We're going to have that listing agreement signed. And then after that, we'll be able to go to your property and we'll give you the final touches on our professional opinion. So that way they know. That way, the last thing I want to do is get them on a call and they're like, whoa, you haven't even been in my house. How am I going to sign a listing agreement with you? So did that answer it?
Yes, it
Cool.
did. Okay, gotcha. And so, well, it wasn't an okay, gotcha. You, at that point, you have them sign the listing agreement, then you go over to the house, and that's when you see it in person and do the rest.
Yeah. Again, it's same thing that I do with my buyers. Why can't we also do that with sellers? So, and that what that also does is, I got this from The Full Fee Agent by Chris Voss and whoever else, I always forget. You're either the fool or the favorite. And I only ever want to be the favorite. I think I got used to being the favorite, you know, with like my social media, people that already knew me before I became a licensed agent. So we were already talking. I'm not used to competing with other agents. If you want to interview another agent, please do so. Interview me last, you know, like in case it doesn't work out with them, then come back to me, because I don't know, maybe it's my pride, but really I think it's just my time. I don't want to have to be the one that's like, okay, I'm interview number 2. Hopefully I get it. Oh, I didn't. I just wasted my time. I did a lot of research when I could have been working with someone that knew that they wanted to work with me from the get-go.
Yeah, the warm leads, the ones that are already raving fans before they ever talk to you. Oh my God, it's the best. I remember, so back when I, first got my license, I was really focused on investing. And so I got on all of these different investing podcasts and shared my journey and my story and all of that stuff. And because of that, I just had so many people reach out to me being like, hey, I've listened to you on like 5 podcasts. I want to work with you for sure. I'm an investor out of state, whatever. And it's just such a beautiful, easy conversation when they know more about what you said than you do. They're like, yeah, when you said this, it just really resonated with me. I'm like, I said that? When did I? Like, I must have just blacked out. I don't know. But cool. I mean, it sounds like me. Sure. Yeah. So it is such a beautiful thing, because that is a very different experience than, Drake, my husband, is very much into the digital marketing ad space, which is so fun. We're experimenting with that right now. And it is like the coolest thing ever to figure out that whole piece of the puzzle. Cause I've done so much like organic brand building type of marketing like you, Allie. And now I'm experiencing this other piece of the puzzle, which is really, really cool. But the leads are just so different because they just saw you on an ad, they clicked and they're like, who are you? Wait, I gave my number. Wait, I don't really want to talk to you. Like, I don't know you, dude. And so what's cool that we're doing right now is we're layering those 2 different strategies. He's doing like the digital ad. And once the person has entered, they're a cold person, they've entered our ecosystem because they clicked on an ad. And from then the remarketing occurs, which a lot of it is going to be me doing videos, very similar to you, Allie. And we're also still going to do the seller seminar once there's a learning curve that happens with the digital marketing ad space. Once the algorithm like picks us up, I'm also still going to do that. But by layering it in to take these cold leads, bring them into our ecosystem, not expecting that we're going to convert them immediately, but then layer in a bunch of different content that will take them from that stranger into the friend zone. And anything. I think, dude, why did I bring that up? Where did that come from? I blacked out again. See, definitely saying on a podcast. I don't even know.
No, I mean, okay. So it goes back to like when working with buyers, a ready, willing, and able buyer, right? Like I think a lot of people focus on, actually, I don't know what a lot of people, I'm not going to say what other people focus on. What I am focused on with incorporating that to sellers is I at this time, what's most important to me out of the ready, willing, and able, I want willing. If you're willing to work with me, then and trust me with my process, then I don't care if you're going to be selling your house a year from now. Let's get to work. I think a lot of people in the beginning focus on anybody that shows any interest, but they're not even able or definitely not willing to work with you. They're willing to work with someone. So you're just doing so much extra work when you could be doing that work for someone that already would want to work with you, make it an easy process. So I'm all about give myself an easy process. If I lose out on business, it would have been business. I would have been a trouble from the start. When I get that phone call from someone and I get that gut punch, fuck, I don't want to answer this phone call. That's a bad client. That client is not for you. And I had a couple of those on the buy side. And that's when I was like, you know what? Why? I left the military because I was miserable. I don't want to be miserable as a real estate agent. I want to work with only people that want to work with me. And it's a fun transaction. So that's my goal.
Okay. I think we understand. We understand part one, what you did in Tucson to generate your business. And now you understand part two. So what did we not hit on today that you would like to share with our beautiful listeners, Rockstars Nation?
If you're a real estate agent with married to a spouse to that will move, in my case, my wife was still in the military, which is why we stayed in Tucson, but we knew we were going to move. Her dad is pretty sick. So that's why I moved up here, where I only really know her parents. So I don't know anybody else. But the point of me saying is, if you plan on moving, if you ever want to move, just make sure that you have the systems in place before you do. And I do have to point out that even though I am still selling homes in Tucson, what has helped significantly was the rev share with EXP. That has helped a lot. Because I don't even feel obligated to, I don't have to sell anything. That's the nice thing. I'm doing this now because I want to. And that's how I'm able to work with just those that want to work with me. I think that's why I'm being so picky, because I don't need your business. I just want it. And so just in case you're not in anyone listening, if you're not in a similar position, but maybe you do want to move, or you want to take a vacation and spend 2-3 months somewhere else outside of the country and still get leads, what I'm doing is working. So I'm more than happy to chat one-on-one. I don't know, just to help anybody. I think that's pretty much it. I'm focused on just really designing, life by design. So I'm working with the people that I want to work with. And the other thing is too, what made it easier for me was that I can move and I still had the same support with those cloud-based brokerages, or at least I can't speak to any other brokerage, but with EXP, I'm with the same community, with the same training, with the same mentorship, nothing changed when I moved across the country. So that was so helpful. I didn't have to then interview people here, in Minnesota, and be like, oh, I hope that the vibe is the same as the office, where I moved from. So, people, I think, get scared or fearful of moving or even taking time off when you can. You are a business owner. You can take time off. Your business can still run without you. And life is good, man. Life is good.
Totally. Okay, people are listening to this. They're like, Allie's cool. Where can people find more about you, listen to you more, all the things?
They can listen to me more on episode 1123 from Rockstars. I looked it up. That's where I got super in the weeds with tracking and numbers. And I can give you my tracker too, in case you want to hit me up. Allie the Agent on Instagram, ALI. So DM me on what helped, what didn't. I would love to hear progress too. And also text me the word video. Text video and I will send you that list. Video to 520-341-2552. And of course, I make podcasts every single week with the one and only Shelby Johnson, the Agent Goldmine. We have actually switched a little bit of our tactics. So it's a lot of just you and I. So of our experience, we go super in the weeds. And I know that from our 5 Pillars community, that people are listening and people are being helped by it. So I love getting that feedback, being like, I just got 6 buyers from that one line that you guys said. That is so dope. So yeah, I just love helping in any way that I can. The Agent Goldmine, Allie the Agent on Instagram. Check us out.
So yeah, the Agent Goldmine, we interview guests less often. We talk about what each other are doing, building from the ground up more frequently. And that is effective recently because we were interviewing guests in the past, but now it's like, okay, this is literally what I'm doing. This is what's working. This isn't. So yeah, the Agent Goldmine, if you do want to check that out. And otherwise, guys, that is all we have for today. Allie, thank you so much for coming on the show. And Real Estate Rockstars, thanks for listening.